Joining me now is Michael O'Hanlon, Director of Foreign Policy Research at the Brookings Institute. You know, on top of what Heather Nauert just said, lifting the sanctions was supposed to win the hearts and minds of the people in Iran with iPhones and with Coca-Cola. Instead, the price of eggs are up 50% in the past year. What happened?
Yeah, it's a great question. First of all, what's happened, of course, is that Iran's economy has been poor for a long time, partly because, as you said, or as the State Department spokeswoman said, they divert funds to places they shouldn't. It's also a system of government that's not set up to be efficient. It has this theocracy on top ruling things. There's a lot of corruption, a lot of inefficiency. And so a quick injection of funds isn't necessarily going to solve these fundamental problems. But, you know, I think there may be an opportunity here in the sense that we've all known President Trump doesn't like the Iran nuclear deal, wants to push back hard against Iran and its broader behavior. And yet it's hard to just rip up the deal. You know, if we do that, we could be cutting off our own nose to spite our face because the rest of the world will blame us for the deal's demise. So maybe President Trump's better off pushing hard on these kinds of issues like freedom, politics, you know, Iran's regional behavior, pushing harder and harder, developing better policies to support reformers, to support our allies in the broader Middle East, while he leaves the nuclear deal alone. But he can still claim the opportunity here, or claim to have really pushed hard against Iran's government. So that's what I'm sort of hoping may happen.
It is a different opportunity. Back in 2009, there were about 3 million protesters. They were largely the elites in the city. This is about younger people out in the suburbs, even though they are smaller in number. The problem is, though, if there is a regime change or they do push back on those in power, then what? Then who's in charge? How do we know it's not going to be worse?
Well, I don't think it's very likely there'll be regime change. This is not like the Shah in 1979, where it was sort of a very weak, brittle government on top and, you know, a leader who had lost a lot of legitimacy with his own people. In this case, even though the government doesn't have much legitimacy with its own people, it's sort of a police state. And very well-developed, strong, deep police states don't usually lose their grip on power because of popular uprising. You never know, of course. I'm not trying to say it's impossible. But what I'm really hoping for here is a path towards greater reform and also a path towards greater empowerment of the elected president. We know that President Rouhani, who was elected and reelected in recent years, I think, you know, he's not our cup of tea exactly, but he's a lot better than the Ayatollahs over the years and the Quds Force and the people who are promoting unrest throughout the broader Middle East and the Iranian security forces. So we want to see that kind of part of the Iranian government more empowered. And I'm hopeful that if the theocracy, the hardline parts, if they feel nervous, that they'll allow more of that to happen.
I want to turn you to North Korea before we run out of time, because yesterday all the talk was about my button is bigger than your button. Some people thought that maybe this was a case of good cop versus bad cop with the president versus the talks that are going on between North and South Korea. The president, in fact, tweeting, failed experts weighing in. Does anybody really believe that talks and dialogue would be going on between North and South Korea right now if I wasn't firm, strong, and willing to commit our total might against the North? Fools, but talks are a good thing. What do you think?
Well, I'm not going to necessarily quarrel with President Trump. I don't really think that he deserves primary credit for where we are, but if he wants to take credit, fine. The point is we're not really at any kind of a stable outcome. We haven't really reached any kind of a deal, any kind of a meaningful pullback from the crisis. We just see the glimmers of a little bit of hopefulness. So sure, give him the credit for that, but now we've got to deliver. Now we've got to figure out how to take the next steps. A colleague of mine here, Bob Einhorn, and I have written how we can try to take this potential thaw between now and the Olympics and build on it into a negotiation process, even as we also keep the pressure on North Korea.
Well, what needs
That's
to happen
going to be the trick. So I hope President Trump will want to continue with that.
Yeah, what has to happen next in order to get to that point?
Well, the North Koreans have to stop testing weapons, especially big missiles and nuclear weapons. We can delay our exercises and maybe slightly scale back their size once they resume, as long as the North Koreans know we're not going to in any way reduce our overall military preparedness. And those are the two basic things going in. And then I believe you have to go for an interim deal, a freeze on North Korea's nuclear and missile testing and production of new capability. I think that's the kind of deal we should try to negotiate negotiate. If we delude ourselves into thinking we can completely denuclearize them in the first instance, I don't think there can be a deal. So I think we're going to have to go for an interim provisional deal without giving them too much in the meantime along the way. But that's got to be, I think, the goal once the talks get going, whenever they do.
Michael O'Hanlon, thank you for your time today. We appreciate it.